Hello and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It's me, Rich, and I'm back with your instant reaction to Aston Villa 1, West Ham 1. Make sure you smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and help us on the road to 10k. Get your comments in as well below after another frustrating game. 2 points dropped, and yeah, just feels so disjointed at the moment with Villa, and I don't know what's wrong at the minute. Obviously, after the disappointing performance against Monaco, after such a great comeback last week against Arsenal as well, today seemed like getting back into the swing of it. But as the game went on, we just got more and more desperate, more and more wasteful, and again just frustrating and ultimately lucky to come away with a 1-1 draw. And all credit to West Ham, although some kind of questionable tactics at times, they stayed in the game and they fully deserved the point. Now, Aston Villa started the game with Martinez in goal, back four, of Cash, Digne, Konsa and Mings. In midfield, we had Kamara and Tielemans, and then in front of them, we had Rodgers, Ramsey, Bailey, and Ollie Watkins up top. And look, the way we started the game was fantastic, moving the ball quickly, Bailey getting on the ball, Rodgers getting on the ball, Ramsey getting on the ball. And it was after 8 minutes, Aston Villa took the lead with a lovely move, ball into midfield. I think it was Kamara into Ollie Watkins on the turn, played it off into Ramsey. And I think Ramsey gave the ball into Watkins, carried on his run, and Watkins laid him off. Lovely first touch and puts it in the bottom corner. And that's 8 minutes and Villa were absolutely cruising. You're thinking, right, go after this game, go and put it to bed. We then score another goal. Ball plays through to Ollie Watkins. He holds it up really well, crosses it across the box, and Rodgers puts it in. And you feel like if that one had accounted, then Villa would have gone on to win comfortably because we are absolutely running riot. But sadly, Watkins was given offside. And then, to be fair to West Ham, they kind of got hold of the game a little bit. They were playing 3-5-2, and they started to get a little bit closer in midfield. And then the Tyrone Mings injury really did disjoint Villa. And I don't know whether Unai Emery got this correct. Obviously, Mings tried to carry on. He couldn't carry on. And on 38 minutes, it looked like Lamar Bohard was coming on. And you think maybe that would be the better option, putting him in at centre-back and keeping Luca Digne at left-back. But he didn't. He brought Maatsen on for Mings, pushed Digne into the centre-back spot. And from that moment, Luca Digne had an absolute nightmare on the ball. His passing was off. Even immediately as he went into that position, he tries to play the ball out from the back. He's the one who's receiving the ball from Emi Martinez, so maybe that was an issue. But as soon as Kudus was pressing him, Paqueta was pressing him, he just was giving the ball away. And then Maatsen, for some reason, couldn't get into the game. Yet we probably could have gone in 2-0 up off our own set piece. The ball comes out to Rodgers. He clips it in, and Watkins leaps up under pressure, heads it just wide. However, we go in at 1-0 up, and you think, right, just step it up that little bit in that second half, and we can get more out of this game. But ultimately, we didn't do that, and it was West Ham that got more and more into the game, more and more flow into the game, and we just couldn't get hold of it in that midfield, partly because we just constantly gave the ball away. Luca Digne giving the ball away, Maatsen giving the ball away, and it was only Boubacar Kamara who had any sense of composure in that midfield. We made 2 substitutions on 65 minutes, Daniel Marlon coming on for his debut, and John Duran coming on up top. And Marlon, to be fair, as soon as he came on, he looked bright. He had an effort that keeper saved comfortably. But unfortunately, it could be put down to Marlon maybe not tracking his runner for the equaliser from Emerson on the 70th minute. We saw it. It was coming. Wan-Bissaka was getting in down that right-hand side. Emerson was getting in that on that left-hand side. They were overloading against the fullbacks, and this is what happened. Edson Alvarez, who we'll come on to in a little while, puts the cross in, and they've got men over on the back post. I'm not sure if it was Souček as well as Emerson, but they had men over on that back post. Marlon gets caught tucked in. Matty Cash is trying to mark two men. I don't know why he doesn't call some. I don't know why he doesn't talk to Marlon and get him back in. I don't know if Martinez could have come for the cross, but the ball heads to Emerson. He heads it back across goal and into the net, and it's 1-1. And then, to be honest with you, Villa got more and more stretched as it went on. They tried to make another change with Buendia and McGinn coming on. We had one or two little efforts, ball down the side for John Duran, and it's probably a little bit overhit, but he's still sliding, manages to get an effort on. But it was West Ham who looked dangerous. Paqueta had a fantastic game. He's a horrible player to play against, trying to get players sent off, but he had a great game. He was pinning Dino, he was pinning Konsa and holding the ball up, knocking it off, and he probably could have scored 2 or 3 goals in that second half. Danny Ings had an effort just wide, and West Ham were looking more and more threatening, and Aston Villa unfortunately couldn't get anything going. But as I say, just constant giving the ball away, and every time we got the ball in and around the box, there just wasn't enough movement, there just wasn't enough dynamism. I don't know whether it's John Duran when he comes on. I don't know if it's the speculation that's around him, but his movement off the ball just wasn't the same. And when you're playing against 3 centre-backs, you've got to pull them all over the place. And to be fair to Watkins, he did that for that first 65 minutes. He held the ball up well, particularly in that first half. He dragged the centre-backs all over the place, and then he created the space for, in that first half, Rodgers and Ramsey to get on the ball and cause havoc. That second half, we just couldn't do anything. Every time Kamara or Tielemans got on the ball, there was no movement in that central area for them to pass into, and we were trying to play out wide, and then Maatsen would overhit a pass, or he would get to the edge of the box and cut back, or Cash would do the same on that right hand side. And obviously Marlon, it's difficult for him to get used to playing with those players, but he couldn't get any rhythm going, and ultimately we just couldn't find any type of rhythm to get back into the game. Now, the referee didn't help at all. He tried to let the game flow early on, but he let it go too much and just completely lost control. And he should have sent off Edson Alvarez. How that guy stayed on the pitch, I do not know. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fouls before he got a yellow card. Then after he got the yellow card, he pulls John McGinn back. He absolutely clatters into Boubacar Kamara with 6 or 7 minutes to go. Should have had the red card. Gives West Ham then the opportunity to take him off. And obviously he was the one who put the cross in for the Emerson goal. Now, that probably would have happened anyway, but he should have been sent off. But the referee was absolutely disgraceful. And I'm not saying he was good for, he was more favouring West Ham. He was bad for both teams, blowing up for fouls when they shouldn't have been, letting things go that he should have blown fouls for. Not sending off players, just completely lost control of the game because there were so many just niggly fouls. There was so much pushing and pulling that he should have got hold of that game. And look, can't blame the referee for our performance, but certainly in terms of keeping players on the pitch, it was shocking. He should have sent off Edson Alvarez. I don't care what anyone says. That was horrendous. Horrendous refereeing, but from Villa's point of view, just not good enough. Martinez, why aren't you coming for crosses? Just, you've got to command that box. And as soon as Tyrone Mings went off, we lost all shape, we lost all leadership, and people like Ezri Konsa need to stand up and step up. People like Luca Dean need to just be sensible on the ball. Stop trying to play it out if you're under pressure. Kudus was putting you under pressure. Paqueta was putting you under pressure. Put the ball up into the channels, at least make them turn and try and chase something. You know, Tielemans and Kamara probably are 2 better players. Tielemans faded a bit in that second half. Rodgers couldn't get going in that second half at all, just not getting hold of the ball. And that leaves then players like Bailey and then Marlon as the game goes on, more isolated. But we're just so wasteful in those positions. Nobody wants to take a shot. Nobody wants to try and beat a man. And it just seems so disjointed at the minute. And I can't put my finger on why. It seems to be that we get into a good position. This game, we got 1-0 up. Can we go on? Can we go on and get 1, 2, 3 goals? But no, we just let that team back into the game more and more and more. And it's character and mindset that you need. The crowd as well. I've got to talk about the crowd. It's way too quiet at Villa Park. You've got to get behind the players. You have to create an intimidating atmosphere like we had 1 or 2 years ago, because they need you. They need you to create that intimidating atmosphere to stop the other team wanting to play. You could see them growing in confidence, and you could see the volume level drop, and the crowd have to help the team out. Now, we go on to Celtic on Wednesday. We need a big performance from the players. Hopefully Tyrone Mings isn't too injured. He was sitting back on the bench, but I doubt he's going to be back in time for Wednesday. There's talk of Juan Foyth that we're looking to sign, but we probably need another centre-back now. So look, it's real desperate stations for Villa at the moment, and we really need to get back some form. We really need to get back into our groove again, because we seem just desperate at the minute to find anything to cling on to. And look, we didn't lose. We got the point. Massive shout out to Ollie Watkins as well. 100 goals and assists for Aston Villa today. Absolutely fantastic achievement. The first or fastest player since, I think, Kevin De Bruyne, and the fastest English player to do it since Harry Kane in 2017. So absolutely fantastic from Ollie Watkins. And look, we definitely dropped us when he came on, and John Duran, we need to get him back fit and firing, and we need to get him back away from this speculation about him leaving and get him concentrating on his football again. Hopefully that's on Wednesday against Celtic, because we need a massive performance. That's it from me. I'll be back with Talking Tactics, Transfer Roundup as well. We're going to carry on with those shows. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, and get your comments in below. The ref, shocking. Villa, what do we do with trying to get our mojo back? The substitutions today, Digne at centre-back just did not work. Let me know your thoughts. Should it have been Bogard in there at centre-back? And yeah, just general thoughts on the performance. For me, man of the match for Villa, clearly Kamara. Just got that touch of class, and he was the only one who was calm and composed on the ball and trying to bring it out for us. And if only we had 11 Kamaras on the pitch. So clearly Boubacar Kamara today. But let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching, and as always, remember, we all follow the Villa.